Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Strong Draws. My name is Brett Strong, and today I am working on a t-shirt design I did for a local metal band called Black Sky Burning. They're actually a band me and my band will be performing with this Friday for a show for my singer's birthday. So if you're interested in indie music and stuff of that nature, and rock and roll and heavy metal, go check them out on Facebook, and can also check out my band if you're interested as well. But other than that, I had done a poster for the show, uh, and they really, the guys really liked what I did for the poster, so they got in contact with me and asked if I could do a T-shirt design for them. And after a little bit of discussion, this is kind of what we came up with, which is an angel kind of holding a skull and with these disintegrating wings behind her. So, just going to be doing the inks on this today. I think with this one, it looks a little different than what I usually do. I think my old Mike Turner fanboyness kind of came out a bit on this one. I think it's very Mike Turner-esque, which I'm not complaining. It's something I've actually tried to get away from over the years. There was a couple years in college where I was a huge fan of Mike Turner. I still am. I mean, it's not changed really. But there was a couple years there in college where I kind of just aped his style. I think I've talked about this before, where I just kind of tried to draw just like him. And got to a point where I guess I thought when I was sitting and drawing, and I kept having the thought, what would he do in this situation, or how would he design this character or draw this character? For me, that realization was one of those points where I thought if I was going to grow as an artist and have my own voice, I was going to have to stop thinking that way and stopped trying to draw like him and started to kind of develop my own style. And and the thing about style is everybody seems really concerned with it nowadays. How to develop your style, and again, I think I may have kind of covered this topic before in other videos, but I'll just kind of reiterate it here. Everybody's so concerned with developing their own style, their own look, and whatever. Personally, it's something I've kind of struggled with myself. That's how I've come to this realization. And I kind of feel bad for my friends that I've complained about this to, or with, or about, or however you want to say it. But your style just kind of is something that develops naturally. It's something I don't think anybody should really overly concern themselves with, as far as devoting time to develop it, just because if you want to develop a style, the best way to do that is to just draw. And in this case, if you want to be a comic artist, draw comic pages, because and give yourself a deadline. And even if it's for fun, or just something you don't plan to show anybody, or if it's just for practice, or if you want to make your own web comic, or just, short 5-6 page story, 3-page story, whatever it is, just draw pages, because when you're on a deadline and you have to get this stuff out, your style is going to develop naturally. It's just how you do what you do. It's not. If you have to stop and think about it longer than it takes you to draw it, then you're not doing it right. Whatever comes out, that's your style. And, you know, look at your influence. You know, you can have your influences, look at how other guys do, guys, girls, look how they do what they do and get inspiration and ideas and a direction kind of from that. But at the end of the day, when you're on hour number 10 of your workday and you're drawing whatever it is, you're not going to sit. At least for me, I get into this zone to where I'm almost watching myself draw as opposed to actually almost being involved with it. And that's in everything that I've kind of learned just kind of takes over, and style doesn't even really play into it. It just, whatever comes out comes out. And I know I think I've covered this before, I've said this before, but John Romita Jr. has a great quote that I've used for a long time, which is my style is the deadline style. Just kind of whatever comes out on deadline is my style. Now that's not to say you phone it in or, you know, whatever. It's do what you do to the best of your ability without thinking too much about it, and that's how you're going to develop that. So, anyway, speaking of deadlines, this one, this t-shirt design I did here, I had kind of a tight deadline on it because they wanted to have t-shirts printed for the show on Friday. So, and this all came about last Thursday. I got to talking with them. No, I take that back. It was last Tuesday I got to talking with them. And they wanted to have, like I said, them out by this Friday, so I had to get it done as quick as possible so that they could get it to their t-shirt guy and have time for him to get it printed and all that good stuff. So I was only given a couple days to do this. So there's the thing is when you're there wasn't really a whole lot of back and forth as far as design conversations, I guess. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Basically, I worked up, I think it was 3 really rough designs. I mean, very, very basic. I'm surprised he even could tell what I had scribbled down to that point, you know, to choose from. But it was one of those things that I just had to get done as quick as possible because I had to design, because they also wanted to do logo, because the original logo was square and they wanted it to go horizontally to fit on a shirt. So on top of doing this drawing, I had to design a logo, or at least pick some fonts out to make the logo that they wanted. So it was all done very quickly. So you'll see here in a little bit. With this one, I did cut a few corners, so to speak, just because working digitally gives you the ability to copy and paste and transform. So these wings, you'll see me do here in a little while. As soon as I get them drawn, is I just copy, paste, and flip them around and put them on the other side of her. So the wings are completely symmetrical, which isn't generally my favorite way of doing things like this because the chaos and the variety of what you can do with the shapes and the wow, it's been a very long day. I'm just kind of doing this off the top of my head. The shapes and the sparseness and the chaos that you can create from doing something such as shattered wings like this can be a lot of fun and give the piece a lot of character and individuality as far as, you know, what it can, you know, what you can express, I guess, a little bit. But since I didn't have the time to do as much as I wanted to, I had to just copy, paste, and flip and make them completely symmetrical. which it doesn't look terrible in the end. It looks actually really good, but there's a beauty to asymmetry that can be a lot of fun too. And but again, when you have a deadline to hit, you just do what you have to do to get it done. So anyway, just kind of working on the buckles of her dress thing, I guess. I don't even know what to call it. Since it's rock and roll, she's you know obviously a very rock and roll type body style and whatnot. You know, big hips, big boobs, almost naked, which is fun. You know, I'm not complaining. It's fun to draw. So yeah, again, more just transform and copy and paste. It's the one. It's a very big upside to working digitally, especially when you're on such a tight deadline. So some more news, I guess I could talk about. I'll talk as much as I can about it because I don't really know um, quite as much yet this far into the process. But I was hired recently to do a 12-issue series. I guess it's going to be an ongoing series, but so far I'm just attached to do the first 12 issues. And I've been recently working on character designs. I don't know the title of the book yet. I don't know the story or anything. We're not quite that far into the process, or at least I'm not that far into the loop just yet. All I'm doing, like I said, all I'm doing right now are just the character designs for the book. And as soon as those are done, hopefully those will be done by the end of next week. There's a lot of designs. There's a lot more actually than I was expecting to do. But as soon as those are done, they're going to be starting a Kickstarter campaign to fund this first 12-issue run. So I will bring you guys, excuse me, more details on that as they come. So if you're up to helping me out, get me published and get me some work, I'd really appreciate you guys heading over to Kickstarter. Whenever that's up, I will let you know. But the flip side to that, and I guess you could see it as a positive or a negative, however you want to look at it. I mean, it's a cool thing that someone, it's always a cool thing when someone hires you to do work for them. They really like what you can do and what you can bring to the table when they hire you to do something. And it's fun to be part of a team and get to work on, something interesting and fun. And to get paid at the same time is not terrible. However, that does mean that, at least for now, again, at least hopefully next week the character designs will be completely done and I can get back to it. But for right now, my graphic novel is kind of on hold. That is kind of the only downside to this right now. The story that I've been hired to do seems like a really fun, kind of cool story. Kind of a steampunk alt history kind of story. So it'll be a lot of fun to draw and get to do some cool battles and some cool characters. Again, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it just yet, but I think it's coming along pretty cool. So, but again, it puts off me working on my book for a little while. Now, if it gets funded, if it's a 12-issue, like I said, it's a 12-issue run that I've been attached to do so far, that means that book is going to be on hold for at least probably another year, which again kind of sucks, but there's an upside and a downside to every decision you have to make. And I mean, I'll get Elizabeth finished one of these days. I'm never gonna, But in the meantime, this will be a kind of a cool project. Make some money, have some fun, get to work with some cool guys. So if you're following me at all on Facebook or Twitter or anything, you kind of know about Elizabeth and whatnot, or if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me do some work from that book. So that's kind of where things stand right now. And again, this commission work is always a lot of fun. This was actually a lot more fun. Doing it, a lot more fun than I thought it would be. It went a lot quicker than I was expecting, and I mean, it's always just fun to kind of do pinups every now and then. Even though my true love of drawing comes with storytelling and sequential pages. So, yeah, not really sure, not really too much going on these days other than that. So I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about. There's a whole lot of, getting psyched for all the movies and TV shows coming up. Daredevil gets released here, the second season, and I think it's what, March 18th, something like that. A couple weeks here. Get a new season of Daredevil with it's got the Punisher this year, and we're gonna get to see some Elektra, which is exciting. And also, like I've said in the last video that I did, as that collaboration with Nick was Batman Superman's coming up here in a couple weeks too. So, and then Civil War, I think is May, April, something like that. So looking forward to doing that. Still have yet to see Deadpool, so I'm gonna try and do that again here, hopefully next week sometime. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, like I said, Batman, Superman, Daredevil, it's just a lot of cool stuff. I need to get caught back up on my Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow, all that good stuff. I'm kind of behind a couple episodes back on those, but other than that, like I said, I got this show this Friday. I don't know where you guys are at or what part of the globe you're watching this from, but if you're in the Lincoln, Nebraska area, you want to see us, come meet me, have a drink, have some fun. Come check us out. We'll be at the Spigot, like I said, Friday night. Otherwise, video is about to wrap up here. Going to have the image pop up at the end as usual. You can see the full color version on my Facebook page. So follow me there for any more updates, and we will see you next time, guys. Okay, have a good one.